Prison can be a dangerous place, especially when your past finds you. From turned lives to violent revenge, these are prison stories you won't believe. Here's what happened when inmates discovered the truth about convicts' KKK ties. Number 7. Henry Hayes. Henry Hayes was a member of the Ku Klux Klan and the son of a high-ranking Klan official. On March 21, 1981, Hayes and fellow Klan member James Knowles drove around looking for a black person to kill. Moments later, they saw and abducted 19-year-old African-American Michael Donald at random from a street in Mobile, Alabama. They beat him with a tree limb, slashed his throat, and strangled him with a rope before hanging his body from a tree.
Henry Francis.
Donald wasn't connected to any case or crime. They picked him just because he was black. The murder was reportedly ordered by Klan leaders to demonstrate their strength in Alabama after a jury deadlocked in the trial of a black man accused of killing a white policeman. Knowles testified against Hayes and was sentenced to life imprisonment for violating Donald's civil rights. Hayes was convicted of capital murder and sentenced to death. Despite a jury's recommendation for life imprisonment, the judge imposed the death penalty. Hayes was executed in Alabama's electric chair on June 6, 1997, marking the first execution of a white person for killing a black person in Alabama since 1913. Before his execution, Hayes expressed remorse, stating "I love you" to his brother and the victim's brother. Number 6. Edgar Ray Killen. Edgar Ray Killen was a sawmill owner and preacher from Mississippi. He was also a local leader in the Ku Klux Klan. In 1964, during the Freedom Summer Campaign, he helped plan the murders of 3 civil rights workers, James Chaney, Andrew Goodman, and Michael Schwerner. Killen organized a group of Klansmen to ambush the men after they were released from a fake arrest. As the activists drove out of town, they were stopped, taken to a remote area, and shot dead. Killen stayed behind to build an alibi at a nearby funeral home.
As to count 1, guilty of manslaughter.
Mr. Killen, do you have any comments?
It's hard to believe that
Killen was arrested with the others, but his 1967 trial ended in a hung jury. For nearly 40 years, he lived free. In 2005, after renewed pressure, Killen was retried and found guilty of manslaughter. He was sentenced to 60 years. In prison, he caused trouble, hoarding tobacco, using racial slurs, and even trying to attack a guard. He maintained his racist beliefs and showed no remorse for his actions. He eventually died behind bars in 2018, days before turning 93. Number 5. Dylan Roof. Dylan Roof was a 21-year-old from South Carolina with a history of drug use, school dropouts, and white supremacist beliefs. He'd been in and out of multiple schools and had previous arrests for drugs and trespassing. On June 17, 2015, Roof walked into Emmanuel AME Church in Charleston and joined a Bible study session. After sitting quietly for almost an hour, he pulled out a handgun and opened fire. 9 black churchgoers were killed, including the church's pastor, who was also a state senator.
in Charleston, South Carolina. Approximately 1 hour into the meeting, Roof stood up, pulled out a gun, and opened fire on the other members of the group, who were all black. As reported by ABC News, 9 people were killed in the attack, and several others were injured. Roof ran from the scene immediately after the shooting. However, he was caught and taken.
Roof was arrested the next morning in North Carolina. He confessed, saying he wanted to start a race war. During the investigation, police found photos of him posing with Confederate flags and wearing white supremacist symbols. He was charged with murder and federal hate crimes. While awaiting trial at the Charleston County Detention Center, Roof was assaulted on August 4, 2016, by fellow inmate Dwayne Marion Stafford. Roof sustained bruises but was not seriously injured. He and his attorney chose not to press charges against Stafford.
Roof in his face and in his back before deputies arrived to escort Stafford back to
In 2017, a jury sentenced him to death. He now sits on federal death row in Indiana, awaiting execution. Number 4. Daniel Lewis Lee. Daniel Lewis Lee was a troubled man with a violent past. In the mid-90s, he joined a white supremacist group and quickly got involved in criminal activity. He lost an eye in a bar fight after provoking someone with a racial slur, and his extremist views only deepened. In 1996, Lee and his partner broke into the home of William Mueller, a gun dealer. Posing as federal agents, they tied up Mueller, his wife, and his 8-year-old stepdaughter. After robbing them, they suffocated all three and dumped their bodies in a swamp.
Lethal injection in Indiana after the U.S. Supreme Court allowed the execution to proceed. He was convicted of murdering 3 members of an Arkansas family back in 1996, including...
Lee was caught and convicted in 1999, while his partner got life in prison. Lee was sentenced to death despite objections from the victims' families. On June 14, 2020, after years of appeals, Lee was executed by lethal injection. Prior to his execution, Lee maintained his innocence, stating, "You're killing an innocent man." Many still question why he received the death penalty while his more dominant partner lived. Number 3. Thomas Jordan Driver. Thomas Driver was a state correctional officer in Florida. In 2014, he got into a fight with a black inmate, claiming the man bit him and potentially exposed him to HIV. Furious, Driver told 2 friends, David Moran and Charles Newcomb, both former correctional officers and KKK members, that he wanted the inmate dead. They started plotting. The inmate had already been released under supervision, and Driver showed the others his photo. They discussed kidnapping him from his home, injecting him with insulin, or shooting him with a 9mm. But their plan never took off.
Suspects, 47-year-old David Moran and 25-year-old Thomas Driver, are right now. Moran and Driver, they had their first appearance.
An undercover FBI informant joined the group, pretending to help. He staged a fake photo of the inmate looking dead and showed it to the men. Their reaction was caught on tape, smiling, celebrating.
I love it. Just don't even feel. Good job.
That works.
Is that what you wanted?
Oh, yes.
Are you happy with that, brother?
Yes, sir. Very much so.
Okay.
Thank you, brother.
That was enough. All 3 were arrested and charged with conspiracy to commit murder. In 2017, they were convicted. Driver got 4 years. Moran and Newcomb got 12. Number 2. Larry Webster. Larry Webster was a known member of the Ku Klux Klan. In 1993, he was arrested in Texas on charges of robbery and kidnapping. While awaiting trial, he was sent to the Galveston County Jail. Because of his gang ties and racist tattoos, Webster asked to be separated for his own safety. The jail denied that request and placed him in a cell with black inmates. Not long after, they spotted his tattoos and attacked him. He was beaten badly, kicked in the face, injured across his body, and eventually taken to the ER.
Made him a target among the diverse prisoners.
Webster later filed a lawsuit, arguing that jail staff knowingly put him at risk. Representing himself in a court, he claimed he was targeted for his beliefs. Surprisingly, the jury agreed. He was awarded $55,000 in damages. The jail's top officers were found negligent. Still, the lawsuit didn't change Webster's criminal status. He was later sentenced to 10 years in prison. Number 1. Thomas Terran. Thomas Terran was once a proud member of the Ku Klux Klan. In the 1960s, he believed America was falling apart and blamed civil rights progress for it. His hatred pushed him toward violence.
Become radicalized into extremist ideology.
Alongside Kathy Ainsworth, a woman who shared his views, Terran planned bombings targeting Jewish leaders and institutions. In May 1968, the pair attacked a synagogue. In June 1968, at 21 years old, he attempted to bomb the home of a Jewish businessman in Meridian, Mississippi, as part of his extremist beliefs. But authorities had set a trap. During the failed attack, a shootout broke out. Ainsworth was killed, Terran survived and was arrested. He was subsequently convicted of attempted bombing, receiving a 30-year sentence at the Mississippi State Penitentiary, commonly known as Parchman Farm. He was sentenced to 30 years in prison. The state pushed for the death penalty, but the judge ruled otherwise. In 1969, Terran escaped but was later recaptured. While in solitary confinement, something changed. He turned to religion, rejected his old beliefs, and started a new life. Initially confined in solitary confinement after a failed escape attempt, he spent his time reading various materials, eventually leading him to explore the New Testament. This exploration culminated in a life-changing conversion to Christianity, during which he renounced his previous racist ideologies. Years later, he became a Christian pastor,
Today, Dr. Tom Terrence is the author of the book Consumed by Hate, Redeemed by Love. The cover by John Grisham says, a remarkable...
Terrence's transformation was so remarkable that, after serving 8 years in prison, he secured early release with the support of a Jewish community leader. Following his release, he dedicated his life to promoting tolerance and reconciliation, speaking against hate and actively working to combat the hatred he once espoused. Do you think KKK members can fully reform? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another video just like this.